Sometime in the 2020s, two geeks from across social media formed an alliance to bring you geek news from across the Nostalgiaverse. They are Jacob's Toys and SuperSorrell. So strap yourselves in for the weekly live show that brings you toy news, TV and movie reviews, special guests, opinions, tangents, and bad impressions. Reveals, releases, thoughts, and maybe dreams. So prepare yourselves for the Geek Week in Review. Live.
Hello. Hello. Welcome to the Geek Week with me, Jacob's Toys, and of course the wonderful one and only SuperSorrell. This is Geek Week episode 160, but we are going out on a different night than we normally do. We normally go out on a Sunday night, and instead we're going out on a Sunday because there's a couple of things happening tomorrow, so we didn't want to clash. let's be honest. For anyone UK based, there's a bit of a football game going on, and we thought, you know what? Let's move it forward a night. For the first time ever in 160 weeks, we thought we'll move it over. So, you know, geeks do like sports as well. So there we go. There we go. Yeah. If you're watching live, doesn't matter where you're watching it from. We go live across a number of different platforms, from Instagram, Switch, YouTube, what the other ones, Facebook. There's a whole bunch of different platforms that we go out on. So do join in the chat. Don't just sit there and watch. Throw some comments up, and we'll do our best to get to the comments. And if you're watching it on catch up, then put in the comments. What, Mr. Sorrell?
Hashtag catch up crew.
Hashtag catch up crew. There we go. We are talking. We've themed this week's show as movies about toys. So we're going to talk about some toy-related movies. But before we do get into that, there's been quite a lot happening this week, hasn't there?
Yeah.
So I think we need to address a couple of things. Where do we even start?
Wow. Well, there's so much going on as well. We've had a lot of San Diego news as well. We've had different trailers drop for some Marvel stuff. We've had so much going on. It's been a nuts week. You can tell it's San Diego season.
Yeah. There's always lots going on at San Diego Comic-Con week, isn't there? There's always loads going on.
Yeah, the most anticipated movie of the year dropped as well. Longlegs with Nicolas Cage. That dropped.
Yes.
Weirdest film I've ever seen.
I can't figure the trailers out. Have you actually gone to see the film then?
Yeah. I went literally Friday night. I went the night it came out.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because they're penning it as like the scariest serial killer horror film since Silence of the Lambs.
It's not. If you're like, because I can imagine this film's going to attract a lot of like non-horror goers because of the fact that it's like Silence of the Lambs. So like thriller people are going to go see this one. They would probably be scared out of the tits with it. You know what I mean? But die hard horror fans, if you're into your horror, it's not scary in the slightest.
Okay.
It's creepy, and put it this way, it was the first film in a long time that genuinely made me feel unnerved. It was very creepy.
Okay, that's quite positive.
I went into this film because as soon as I learned, because I didn't learn it was Nicolas Cage till quite late on, to be fair, because they didn't show the villain at any point in the trailers. You just kind of see a bit of him holding his hands over his eyes, and that's it.
Yeah.
But that is Nicolas Cage, and he's in like full prosthetics and a wig, and he's not doing his regular voice. He's not doing his regular speech patterns. Because I was expecting a villain who kind of talks like this a little, like his usual Nicolas Cage crap, but he didn't. He completely changed his speech patterns, his voice, and he made it very eerie. Like there's a bit where he goes up to a little girl, and basically does that thing that she's in the trailer. Where he goes like that. And he goes peekaboo, like over his eyes. And he goes, I'm sorry I'm so tall, I must have put my long legs on. And it's like,
Oh, wow. So
very
really
weird.
Oh, cool.
Creepy movie.
Must admit, the trailer that got me, or the kind of, not trailer as such, but the kind of clip, was I forget the leading lady's name.
Yeah.
But they showed her when she first saw Nicolas Cage's long legs. Did you see that clip?
Yeah.
And they showed her heart rate. And her resting heart rate was something like 70, and it goes up to like 170 in this scene. So when she first sees him, so I was like, okay, this is intriguing. This is definitely intriguing. So
it's a very intriguing movie, but it's not the scariest film yet, but it is intriguing. It's a very good movie. I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
But it's divided a lot of people though. I think I'm trying to arrange a chat with James and Peter from Wanted Scare to have a chat with them about it. Right. They've got very parallel opinions. Like James loved it, but like Peter hated it. So that should be a good chat.
Wow, I need to go and see it. I do need to go and see it. It's one of the kind of recent horror films that I've kind of gone. No, I want to kind of go and see that at the cinema. So.
But I mean, speaking of collabs and stuff, I mean, you're going to appear on my channel, non-Geek Weeky, for just on the SuperSorrell channel as Jacob's Toys, and we're going to talk about Scream, aren't we, next week?
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a
fun.
good chat.
I know Ghostface is your like favourite horror icon, more or less. So
yeah.
I thought Scream would be a good one. It's a good franchise to dissect.
Yeah. We're doing a Geek Week that's not a Geek Week
Yeah,
on SuperSorrell's channel. Yeah, no, it'll be good. It will be good. And we've got another bit of a collab coming up as well, haven't we? Like this week with Four Horsemen.
Yes, yeah. Wednesday we're going to be putting some videos out.
Yes. So we were very lucky to collab with Four Horsemen Studios. They sent us a couple of goodies, so we are putting out some videos independently, and then we'll do a bit of a chat together as well. So there's lots coming there. So that was good fun. So that's coming as well. But on to kind of more recent stuff.
Yeah.
Where do we even start? Do we start toys or do we start movies?
So San Diego Comic Con panels were announced for the action figure stuff.
Yes.
All the action figure panels are going to be on Friday for like all the companies, which is quite cool. They're kind of like making the Friday all about figures, which is quite cool.
Yeah. One thing that's always frustrated me is the kind of excuse me, been a long day. But the thing that's annoyed me with San Diego is the kind of drip feed of kind of like when stuff's come in, whereas having it all on the Friday, action figure wise, is quite exciting. For Hot Toys particularly, they announced their kind of lineup of figures, and there was a couple that kind of intrigued me. One of which was a Deadpool figure for the Deadpool Wolverine film, but it doesn't look a huge amount different to the Deadpool that we got for the previous. I've got him here, and that is. Yeah, can I move my finger? There he goes. He's just a bit brighter and stuff, but he's going to be really exclusive to the cons. So they're only going to put out what's left over, sort of thing. So I think he will sell out and be a real popular one, especially as they've kind of recently announced their Wolverine coming in 2025, I think it is. Yeah.
But the first big panel is Lucasfilm, and they're doing their high-end collectibles, so the non-Hasbro stuff.
Yep.
So this will be like, I'm sure this will be all your what do you call them? Like what you like and stuff. The big jobbers.
The Hot Toys.
I think they're going to be like the Hot Toys and stuff like that, and Gentle Giant probably and things like that.
Yep.
Then you've got the Hasbro panel starts with Marvel Legends, because they're all broken up this year as well. So 12 while 130, you've got the Hasbro Marvel Legends panel. Mm-hmm. Then we jump over to Mattel at 1 while 2 for Street Sharks.
Cool.
And the future of the Street Shark line.
Then they have to get Vin Diesel. They have to. Somehow, even if it's just a video link, he has to. They can't relaunch this brand and not tie him in somehow.
Yeah, I kind of like how the companies have worked together with the timings. It's quite cool because they're all in sort of similar rooms as well. So like then we jump back across to Hasbro with Star Wars. So the team at Hasbro will be doing the May the 4th. The May the 4th be with you panel with JediInsider.com being a part of that one.
Okay, interesting.
And for the Marvel Legends panel, it's MarvelousNews.com is their partner, if you want to call it that. On that.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's quite different. And then we've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles panel with Mattel. Then after that, we jump across back to Hasbro with Transformers. They're working with tformers.com. And then Nacelle have got their the future of the Nacelle brand because they're looking at Disney. So they've got some Disney to announce. Apparently, they've got the Disney contract.
Okay.
So Disney's animated characters, as well as the upcoming Biker Mice from Mars animated series by Nacelle, the new comic book, and their interactive panel about their universe, including RoboForce, Biker Mice from Mars, Wild Wild West, Cowboys, Moo Mesa, Sectors, Power Lords, and the Great Galu.
Okay.
That's it.
Wild Wild West. That's.
It says Wild Wild West, unless that's a typo. Cool. I don't know. It says Wild Wild West.
That is cool.
Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want nada.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Do you know what? Just because we mentioned Wild Wild West, you know what? I want them to reboot Men in Black so bad because it was a comic.
Yeah, but they tried to. They tried to.
But they did with the crappy. They tried to basically make Thor: Love and Thunder with Men in Black.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want to go back to like Tommy Lee Jones, Will Smith. Like I want a serious actor and a comedy actor. And like an older serious actor with a young kind of kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
That
the
worked.
dynamic between them two was fantastic.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Speaking of the I mean, obviously we've seen things like Street Sharks and stuff like that announced from Mattel, but the Hasbro stuff, I've not really seen any leaks. I don't know whether
No,
I've just
nothing.
been
It's been
looking in
very
the wrong place,
tight-lipped.
but I have no idea what to expect.
Since Marvel started copying Star Wars a little bit and giving us more clues and hints towards what's coming, like with the whole pipeline idea, I think that's kind of taken away a lot of the fuel for it. Because before it would be like which of the like guys online are going to be the first to leak it. You know what I mean? Who's going to be the one with all the info? Whereas now, if they already kind of give you a little bit of information to say, oh, we're looking towards an Avengers line next or something. You know what I mean? If they drip feed it in, then there's nothing to leak.
Yeah.
And Star Wars do that very well.
Yeah, they do. Of course, we still need to see the HasLab for Ghostbusters and Marvel Legends.
Oh yeah.
So I think that we'll probably get the Ghostbusters stuff.
100%. Yeah, there's no HasLab panel announcement there, so that might be on the Saturday or the Sunday maybe.
Oh, excuse me, I've had a really long day. Really long. My Saturday's usually really busy. But no, the Ghostbusters, I can't think of what they would have to announce, because you did say there's a Ghostbusters panel, didn't you?
No, I haven't seen the Ghostbusters. No, it would just transform.
Oh, so there
Marvel
isn't
and
a
Star Wars.
okay. Oh, maybe we won't
I
get
wonder
that.
if because we are getting a HasLab. We are getting a HasLab. I know that much.
Yeah, so if they've not announced that there's a Ghostbusters panel at San Diego Comic Con, then they'll be doing that separately. There's no way they're going to kind of just drop it. We might get the Marvel Legends one teased.
These are the panels that are appearing at San Diego Comic Con, as in physically at the event. There's still the online stuff. So, I mean, Hasbro may still host things from their regular studios over the course of the weekend. So on the Friday they might drop a load of stuff, but then online they might drop more from their other brands that aren't as popular. Because, like, let's face it, Marvel, Star Wars, Transformers are their most popular. But there's also Dungeons and Dragons, Nerf, Furby. There's all the other brands that they own.
Yeah.
To drop stuff for. So I think they will do more online stuff as well.
Are you still of the idea that they're going to do something Deadpool Wolverine?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
So
the fact that jumping across to the movie stuff, we know that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are both at San Diego Comic Con for the Deadpool panel.
Right.
They are both there for it. So they're in attendance. Hasbro are in attendance. Disney are in attendance. All the players are there to work something out. There's no way that Marvel Legends are not going to have Ryan Reynolds appear. Come on.
You reckon?
Even if it's a Wolverine figure announced, presented by Hugh Jackman with Dwight and stuff, that would be hilarious to watch. It would break the internet. It
would be. I just can't imagine Hugh Jackman like in the company of the Hasbro guys. It's a crazy concept to kind of think of them.
Imagine if they just start they do the whole panel, but then it's just Ryan Reynolds walks out like, "Hey guys," and he just acts so because he's good at this, and he'll just act so nonchalantly about it. Like, we're going to talk about some Deadpool.
They had the UK premiere.
It was it was like a sneak peek event, and they had Spudman of all people.
Yeah.
Did you see that on TikTok? Spudman gave Wolverine and Deadpool a spud. Quite funny.
I did see that.
HMV have got the vending machines now in the UK that were in the American cinemas. Did you see that?
Yep.
So the big store in London, I believe Glasgow, I believe Manchester, and there'll be a few more. It's in the major stores rather than the outlet stores.
Yeah.
They've got a smattering of these machines, and it's free. You don't have to pay anything to have a go on it. You just get a token from the counter, so it's one per person. You pop it in the machine, and you win every time. Basically, it's set to win every time. And you get a friendship necklace. So one side's Wolverine, one side's Deadpool, and it snaps apart. You can give one to your friend.
They're very cool. I thought they were like an unofficial product originally. I just thought they were something that somebody had kind of made to jump on the bandwagon, but they are part of the market.
They are part of the marketing for the movie, and I think it's brilliant. And if I can find one, I'll send you one.
Oh yeah, mate.
I'll send you half, mate. We'll have to wear one each on the screen.
Yeah, we could. We could hold them up to the screen and see if we can make them fit.
We can barely work out how to do that and point at each other.
Yeah. And speaking of collabs, we are still very much on for Mad About Horror, aren't we? Not Mad About Horror.
No, Mad About Horror is the company that I work with. For all that stuff. No, it's the For the Love of Horror.
for the love of horror, a little shout out to Mad About Horror there. They just get like a little plug on the show. But for the love of horror, we're still very much on for that. So come October time, we'll be down. No, we'll be up there. So
You will
yeah,
be.
there's
We're
lots
going
going
down. We are
on.
going up.
Lots going on. So okay, let's talk movies then.
Oh, one sec. So San Diego Comic Con as well. Last thing on the toy thing, McFarlane also released their press release today, saying that they will be in attendance and they'll be launching information about the new DC stuff that's coming out. But when they released the press release, they used the Creature Commandos artwork. So if you're not familiar, that's Frankenstein and I can't remember the names, like the Cat, Sergeant Rock's one of them.
Yeah.
They're like their version of like a Suicide Squad with monsters.
Yeah.
But front and centre was their version of like the Bride of Frankenstein, basically. There's the big Frankie behind and then the Bride of Frankenstein at the front. In like a long red trench coat and stuff from the recent comics. Well, obviously we know that the DC multiverse movies, the first one that's coming out, other than Superman, is Creature Commandos. They're doing the monster movie, Frankenstein and stuff. So they're going to be featured at the McFarlane booth and during their presentation, by the sounds of things.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that could be cool. So I'm not sure if it's going to be movie preview. I doubt it would be movie previews. So they've not even announced a cast yet. But I suppose they're going to start introducing people to the idea of the characters by releasing some DC action figures on the comic books.
It'd be a good opportunity for them to get the comic book characters out now ahead of the movie.
They did the Frankenstein, remember, because I reviewed that and I've got that one. It's quite a big fig. It's one of the big ones. I bought that instantly. But yeah, if they're going to release the Bride and stuff, I'd be all over that.
Yeah, I think they're coming. I think that's definitely coming. Just makes sense. Makes sense.
So yeah, moving over to the trailers and stuff that dropped this week and the movie news, there's quite a bit of that as well.
Yeah. So just kind of rounding off the Wolverine Deadpool stuff, the press tour, should we say, or the preview tour has been going around. So Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have been going to various different countries. And what they've been doing in every single one of them is it's not a preview screening, it's the first 30 minutes. So literally the whole event is based around a 30-minute clip. Or I don't know if it's the first 30 minutes or just 30 minutes, but it's 30 minutes of the film. So you're not even seeing the whole lot. But everyone that has gone has just said that it is unbelievable. I know like Kibbs from the Brothers Geek Outpost was fortunate enough to go along as well, and like all over his social media he's just said about how amazing it is and how great the film is going to be if this is anything to go by. So I'm really excited. I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
A week away now. Did you see the little trailer I just sent you?
Yeah, I saw that the other day. The little teaser.
Yeah, with the dog and his leg.
Yeah. The dog's from England, isn't it?
Yeah. It was. Did it not feature on one of the TV shows, like on the panel things, like Britain's Got Talent or something?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Ugliest dog of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, the ugliest dog in the UK or something silly like that, or the world or whatever. But no, I just think that we've said it before, but the way they've done the marketing for this film is fantastic because there have been so little leaks that I'm going into it with complete. I'm so glad I got a midnight screening because I'm not going to get spoiled by anyone seeing it and posting stuff. But the way they've done it is just phenomenal. They've given us so much, and all the adverts as well. Like they've given us so much Deadpool and Wolverine. Just even in like completely unrelated things, like the Heineken advert where they like pretended to make adamantium cans, and it's just little things like that.
Did you see the one where they were trying to like get where Ryan Reynolds were trying to get Wolverine to help them get girlfriends to come along to the movie?
Oh, the Bachelor one where they
the Bachelor one where it was using Wolverine's butt and stuff. That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was just fantastic. Like it's just such a well planned, and I just think it's really ironic considering if we go back to the beginning with the original Deadpool, the whole thing kind of came from a leak because of that kind of test footage leak that was kind of out. So the whole kind of franchise came from that leak, but yet they're so tight-lipped on leaks for this, and I think we're into that final kind of 13 days now. Like I really hope it stays that way and we don't get too much spoiled.
Yeah, and I honestly think this will be the last movie that they do like for Deadpool solo. I've got a feeling
Yeah.
he will. I think that they'll definitely appear in Secret Wars, no doubt
Yeah.
about that.
Well,
But
did you
I
see the
think-
interview? Did you see the interview with him? And again, it's
Nope.
another one of these kind of like intentionally released things,
Hmm.
and it's the Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds and what's the director called? I've gone
Yeah.
blank. But it will come to me in a minute. But the director as well, and the three of them there. And then the interviewer says, like, you know, so are you guys going to be featuring in any upcoming MCU, whatever? And they all kind of go, oh, well, they don't say no. They just kind of like dart around it. And then they say, oh, well, when you edit this, can you just kind of put the captions as like, you know, tangible words, whatever, and like they're all going, oh, like, so it's like they didn't say no, but they weren't saying yes, and I just thought it was a really clever way of kind of going like, of course we are, but we're not talking about it. So, yeah, they're definitely going to pop up somewhere. But we had two other trailers.
Before we move on, I was going to say that trailer I sent you tonight.
Yeah,
They showed that bar scene from another angle because all the way through we've been seeing the bar scene facing the back in, so you see the back of Wolverine and you see the side of Deadpool. Whereas this time they shot it from the other side, so you could see from the bar outwards. Did you notice that?
yes,
It's the exact same bar, and he's wearing the exact same costume that he wore in X-Men First Class when he told Xavier and Thingy to go away. He's wearing the exact same costume. Well, he told him to F off, but he's wearing the same costume. He's got the same drink. It's the exact same setup. And it's the same bar. So, I think this is intentionally set in that timeline. Before Wolverine... Because if you remember, in the X-Men timeline, it's so convoluted. The X-Men timeline, Hugh Jackman went back in time in Days of Future Past and set things right.
yeah,
And it all changed, and they remembered who he was at the end of that film. There was, like, Hank walking around, and... It was like a branched timeline, wasn't it?
yeah.
So this is the Wolverine that didn't join the X-Men. He told them to F off. This is the Wolverine that failed them. He didn't join the X-Men. And we already know from the trailer this is the Wolverine that didn't save his universe. So this is that timeline. I think basically that we might get. I'm wondering whether we're going to get a Michael Fassbender and Thingy cameo, of them two walking out of the bar and they pass Deadpool. It's like, you alright, guys? You know, there's going to be a cheeky. Oh look, it's McAvoy.
That'd be quite cool.
Because obviously they made the joke in the first film. It brings it full circle.
Yeah.
You know, McAvoy or Stewart. It's that same joke, just on the back end.
I'm
I think
100% gonna watch the other two before I go and see this one. Just to literally watch them back to back the night before or something, and then just.
And we now 100% know that Yukio is there and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, but there's no confirmation of the others yet.
No, Shatterstar we've seen in the trailer, which is interesting because obviously he died in the film. So yeah, I don't know, but I think he's probably been using that device he got from Cable and messing around with the timelines, and that's how, you know.
I think that's why the TVA turned up, because he's messing about with the timelines.
Yeah.
He's creating branch timelines everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to be so good. I can't.
It is.
Wait.
I just can't. I had to point that out because as soon as I saw it, I was like, "That's the setup." I literally went side by side with two screenshots. I'm like, "Yep, that's the one."
I'm going to have to go and have a look now. I'm going to go and have a look after this. That's very interesting now. But that isn't all the only thing Marvel going on at the moment. We had two massive drops for Marvel this week. The highly anticipated Agatha All Along, and the next kind of MCU kind of film being Captain America: Brave New World, the first solo film with Sam Wilson as Captain America.
I'm interested to know your thoughts on it because it did nothing for me, that trailer. I did not get hyped at all.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk Agatha. Because I'm guessing that you like the look of Agatha.
Well, yeah, it's the Halloween special as well, isn't it? Basically, like last year the other year we got Wolf by Night.
Yep.
This year we're kind of getting Agatha, and it's a TV series. It's based on the comic book series as well about the Witch's Road, which is that's all comic book related.
Yep.
And she's on the quest to get the Darkhold, which is interesting because technically it's not with her anymore. Scarlet Witch had it when she died.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
The Road in the comic books, if memory serves me correctly, was a Scarlet Witch storyline. wasn't a Agatha storyline. It was
I think this is a way of bringing Scarlet Witch back to life.
Okay.
So if she brings back the Darkhold, she has the power to bring back Scarlet Witch. She becomes basically like the Witch's version of the Sorcerer Supreme, doesn't she? She becomes the all-powerful Witch Agatha Harkness.
Yeah.
So she then has the power to bring people back to life. So.
Well, we'd already seen a version of Wanda dead in the trailer, didn't we? So that's the one that kind of went on the rampage, and it is the one that ends up dying in the end of Multiverse of Madness, isn't it?
It is.
Because she's like in the jeans, she's wearing jeans, barefoot with a blue hoodie, and she's the one that travels into the other timeline where the children are with her.
Because
so
she died with the Darkhold. I'm guessing the Darkhold's got her spirit or something. There's going to be some explanation of the Darkhold has got her spirit, and we can revive it.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories as well floating around that one of the kind of emo kid, the goth kid that we see, is Wiccan from her children, like from Wanda's children. But I'm not quite sure how they'd make that work. But the kind of synopsis of the film is that she's trapped, obviously after Wanda trapped her in that kind of in that prison inside her head, and she's now on a quest to complete, I can't remember the word that they used, but it's basically a set of challenges that allows her to gain what she's missing, so essentially get her powers back. So it's going to be a quest for power, this series. And she's recruiting like a coven of witches, isn't she?
So yeah, we're actually being introduced to Jennifer Cale in this TV series. If you're familiar with her.
Yep.
She's a witch and stuff in the TV series, in the books, and she's also a part of a coven in the books and everything like that in the comics. We're also where are we? We're also being introduced to I can't think of a name now. There are basically, there's a bunch of them from the comic books, basically, but they're all being introduced. They're from her actual coven in the comics, which I thought was quite cool. Because in the trailer, when I first saw it, I was like, well, who are they? They're just random people, but they are actually based on comic book people. Yeah. So that's very cool. But yeah, Sanshia Zamata, who's the in the trailer, she's Jennifer Cale. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's portrayed, because she looks very different from the comic book version.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. But yeah, there's a bunch of people in it that haven't got a name next to their casting yet. So I think there's some secret ones to have there.
I think the other interesting thing about it is it doesn't really give a huge amount away. Like the trailer kind of highlights the points of what we've been given as a synopsis anyway. Yeah. It doesn't really give anything away. There was that one scene that's quite dark, and it looked like some kind of demon or like devil or something like. So I think this might be more of an adult show.
Looks like it. I wouldn't let Paige watch that. If I look at that trailer, I wouldn't let my kids watch that.
Yeah.
It looks very dark.
No, me neither. But I just hope it's got enough legs, because obviously Agatha became a massive fan favourite with WandaVision. But that was years ago. That was a long time ago now. And we haven't had anything about her since. Like, she's not cameoed, she's not had any kind of pop-up. So this is bridging that gap from quite a long time ago. So I do hope that there's enough in it to keep her a fan favourite.
I'm going to go back to my initial theory. What film's coming up very soon?
Oh, okay.
The Fantastic Four. There's a reason to bring her back. She was the nanny for the Fantastic Four. She's going to appear in it, I think.
Yeah. You think that? Yeah.
I'm guessing so.
Which would kind of work on the timelines as well, because this Fantastic Four looks like it's set back a little bit. We discussed that when we had that image leak, or an image reveal, and this show looks like it's set even further back. Like the kind of period theme of it looks quite old.
Yeah, and just to go back to Agatha Harkness a little bit as well, the character of Jennifer Cale, one of my deep dives that I did, she's actually first appeared in Adventures into Fear, which was a Man-Thing comic book.
Okay.
Just FYI. She's also a current member of the Midnight Suns.
Perfect.
So I've got a feeling, like we said a while ago, I wonder if they're going to start trying to build a Dark Reign storyline using characters on the TV that they don't want them to go to films or whatever. Like use like like bring your Ghost Riders and your Man Things, and like we said before, try and do a Midnight Suns on TV.
How would
Bring
work?
them all together. Yeah, because Man Thing's kicking about. We know he is. He came into the MCU at the end of Werewolf by Night. This is also another Halloween adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping there's going to be something at the end of this that ties that together with Werewolf by Night. Maybe a cameo by Man Thing, because obviously a lot of the characters from these comic books all interlink because they're the darker side of the universe. And with the figures that are coming out from Marvel, I'm wondering whether they already from Hasbro. I think they already have an idea of what's happening personally.
Yeah. I think the other thing that kind of piques my interest is that there's not really much opportunity for there to be cameos. So I think that any cameo or crossover that takes place will be kind of like a big reveal at the end.
Again, I'm wondering whether we might, because obviously there's quite a lot of demon-y looking thing on this thing. I'm wondering whether Satana might be the big demon at the end of this.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously I don't think they would go straight for like what's the I forgot his name. The one we all wanted in Wonder Thing.
A Mephisto.
Yeah, I can't see them going for a Mephisto, a straight up devil character, but I can see them going for like the daughter of the devil. You know,
and then tying it back that way.
Tying it all back to the Midnight Suns and stuff.
See how well it's received, and then take it from there. Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, maybe. But I'm intrigued. I think we'll probably get another trailer or two, but I don't think they're gonna give too much away.
No, I'm looking forward to that one though.
I think they'll stay quite tight-lipped.
But then we got obviously Sam Wilson's first outing as Captain America on the big screen.
Yeah, mate.
Did note for me though, and that cheesy little joke at the beginning about
I loved it.
changed. I'm not used to the new look.
Yeah. We see Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross. That's the first big kind of reveal. And the joke that you're referring to, for anyone that hasn't seen the trailer, is Sam basically says to him, I'm still getting used to the new look. And Thunderbolt Ross said, I basically had to shave my mustache because of the election. Which is a clever way of doing it, to be fair, because I thought, are they going to slap a moustache on Harrison Ford and just expect us to not know? But no, by shaving it and making him clean shaven. Because people do change. When you go clean shaven, you do look slightly different. So I thought that was quite a clever way of doing it.
But the thing is, from what we've seen in the trailer, it does look like he doesn't only run for president, but he becomes the president. Because the scenes that look like the film's in like a White House setting.
Which is kind of what was expected.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just can't picture the president as a Red Hulk, which is weird.
I think well, the thing is, apart from there's one on-set leak where it was a picture of Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford looked like he was in like ripped trousers.
Mm-hmm.
But apart from that, there's not been anything that specifically says that it is Thunderbolt Ross that becomes a Red Hulk. I know in the comic books he does, but it's not unheard of that they would change something. I don't think they would, but you never know.
And also we get a first glimpse at Giancarlo Esposito's character.
Yes.
We've all speculated who that could be and stuff, but it looks nothing like I was expecting this. It's not anything...
Still a complete mystery.
Yeah, still a complete mystery. There's nothing there that gives anything away, whether it's going to be Serpent Society or anything linked to anything else. We'd have no idea who that is, just a random merc.
Yeah, and there's no indication of, like you say, characteristics or anything like that that pin him to anything else or affiliations or anything like that. He just looks like almost like a Punisher type character.
Yeah, and a lot of people online are saying Sidewinder for his character.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lame one, but I think he's going to be not as much. But in Captain America Civil War, was it, where you saw Crossbones at the beginin?
Yeah.
And Crossbones was obviously a lot of people, they'd set him up from the last film. He's an established villain in Marvel Comics, but he wasn't the main antagonist at all. He was literally in that opening scene, and I think they might do something similar with this character, that he's not actually the main antagonist, but instead he's just somebody that's kind of there in the background and like a side quest.
Yeah.
But
But we do see Isaiah Bradley. He's back.
yep.
He's in there. So that's pretty cool. We're
Mhm.
going to get him a bit more of his story. And then, yeah, they were just... we don't know who else is in this. We know that WWE Seth Rollins is meant to be in this in some capacity.
Yeah.
But we have no idea who he's playing. It's his first outing as an actor, I believe.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we have no idea who he's playing.
There was a couple of things though as well in the trailer that we did see Falcon and Captain America flying side by side, which was the first, which is quite cool because going all the way back to the original Captain America film where we saw in the Winter Soldier where we were first introduced to Sam Wilson, he talked about there being like two of them that had the suits, but we never saw him flying with somebody else until now. So obviously he gave his suit to that will become the new Falcon at the end of halfway through Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show. But did you also notice the Celestial as well?
No, I did not see the Celestial.
So you know that there's that big Celestial in the sea.
Yeah.
That in Internals we saw him kind of coming up, and everyone kind of jokes about the fact that it's never been mentioned that there's this giant Celestial kind of poking out of the sea.
Yeah.
Well, in the trailer, it looks to be that's what he's flying around. So even if it's just the scene that takes place there, it'll show that they've not completely forgotten about this giant human statue.
Mm.
So that was interesting. And then of course we saw Red Hulk at the end as well.
Red Hulk for the first time, yeah. It does. Come on, that does look like they've just red-skinned Green Hulk. It looks like identical, doesn't it?
Yeah, which is essentially what Red Hulk was in the comic.
I know.
It would be very easy. The thing that upsets me is that when I think of Red Hulk, I think of a Hulk with a moustache, and obviously Harrison Ford shaved his off, so we're not gonna he's not just gonna generate a moustache as he kind of morphs up, is he?
I don't know. We've seen weirder things in the MCU. They could make a joke about it and do it.
Yeah.
I've seen weirder things happen in the MCU recently.
But I think Red Hulk's
Ash
going to
from
be
the Evil Dead appears in one of them.
Oh, bloody hell. I think Red Hulk's going to be a big part of the film because even the movie poster shows Red Hulk's hand holding the shield, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But no, I'm hyped. I really like Sam Wilson. I really like his Captain America. I was one of the few people that really enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier as a TV show. And it'll just be interesting to see what they do with his outing. I don't think he's not gonna become a household name. He's not gonna be the favorite character to put on things or anything, but I don't know, it looks like they're doing it justice.
For me, I don't know. Maybe because I'm not into the characters and I never have been. But I mean, this to me feels like a filler movie in the series. This feels almost like we need to get from A to B, and this is it.
Yeah, oh, it is 100%. Was there any other movie news?
Time Bandits trailer.
Oh, of course, yes. Yeah. Oh, I lost my camera. I'm here still. Yes, Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi. I can't say it. Taika Waititi. Time Bandits. So Time Bandits is obviously an old film, isn't it?
It is. It was in the 80s. They were a very 80s movie. Hence the trailers, soundtrack choice, visual kind of looks. But this version looks fun.
It does look really fun. That's the main thing. It just looks a lot of fun. And kind of what you've got to think of, kind of what we do in the shadows, Ragnarok. Like, Taika Waititi is a funny director.
Mm-hmm.
There is no two ways about it. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Taika Waititi's in this film as well. He's the Supreme Being.
Yes. Yeah,
but it's a TV series, by the way. I didn't realise it was a TV series. It's not a movie.
Yeah, no, I picked up on that. But that's what they tend to do with a lot of the stuff now. Make it into a TV series. So I'm trying to sort my camera out at the same time.
Lisa Kudrow looks good in this, though. I kind of liked her little character in this.
Did not recognise her from the trailer.
Oh, it was her voice that gave it away for me instantly.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, as soon as you heard her voice.
And we've got Jermaine Clement as well as the big bad in this one, as pure evil. He's called.
I'd love him. He's so funny.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a good TV series.
What's the date on it?
July 24th, so not long, a couple of weeks
Oh,
away.
so literally a couple of weeks.
It's gonna be an Apple TV product, so I mean, it's gonna be on Apple, so it might be harder to get hold of, but hopefully we'll get a Blu-ray DVD release.
Yeah, I think it will end up going to one of the others eventually.
Hopefully,
Yeah. There you go, my camera's back. But no, I'm really excited. I said to you on the chat, like, Time Bandits as a film, going back to kind of like the 80s, I remember watching it. I have vivid memories of me and my dad watching it and it being this film that I absolutely adored, but I can't remember anything about it. If someone asked me some of my favorite childhood films, like Time Bandits normally pops up on the list, but I could not tell you a single point of the plot or what the characters look like. Like, I just have this weird kind of blanked out memory of it, but I know I've seen it multiple times.
And another thing as well, one big news for me anyway. I thought this was really cool. The creators behind Stranger Things, their next project after the final season of Stranger Things, is going to be the Archie horror comics. Is going to be made into a TV series. So that is the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Josie and the Pussycats, Archie, Betty and Veronica. It's all them comic books basically. Recently, the Archie series got revamped and became a bit more horror related. There's like vampires now in Riverdale and.
There's vampires in Riverdale.
There's vampires in Riverdale. Obviously, witches, demons. Sabrina obviously is one of them.
Is she actually in Riverdale?
Yeah, so it's all set, isn't it? It's all within the. Well, she's in. There's Riverdale and there's another town next to it. She's in the next town over, but she comes to Riverdale because she obviously knows Betty and Veronica and characters like that. They're all.
I've never sat and watched it because I was kind of like, it looks like something I should watch with my kids, but
no, it's definitely not. Do not watch that. Do not watch Chilling Adventures of Sabrina with your kids.
No, the Riverdale.
Oh, no, I still wouldn't.
No.
They're all adult series.
Yeah.
The best part is they have a cameo from Josie and the Pussycats, which is one of my favourites of the comics.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
So
but that's interesting from the Netflix.
Yeah, because it's got a very 80s aesthetic. And so it does make sense to go from Strange Things to that. But what I'm loving about it is the fact that they've said they're basing it on the most recent comic run, which is there's a library. This sounds mental. There's a library that's built on top of Riverdale that is basically like the gateway to hell.
Wow.
So all these weird things happen in Riverdale because of that gateway. So like the reason the Sabrina's family is in the morgue near there is because of that, gateway to hell. They protect people from the demons that come out.
Okay.
And obviously Jughead became a werewolf in the comic books. There's a character called Vampire. It was like a play on Vampirella, basically. It was like their version of it. Basically, all the different characters got like horror makeovers, basically.
Have they announced sort of how long after Stranger Things that's going to be?
Doesn't say. It just says their next big adventure is going to be tackling the Archie comics and interlinking all the characters. They've tried in the past to make something out of Riverdale, but it's just never worked out.
No, it's just never worked, has it?
Because like one of the best comic books, if you want to read any of them, one of the best ones that I think is called Final Girls, and that is Josie and the Pussycats are writing their newest album, and a serial killer basically tries to kill them off one by one while they're in the studio. Very good comic. I love it.
Yeah. I thought that they had tried to adapt that before.
It was the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina they made. They have made Josie and the Pussycats, but it was a very badly made movie with like what's she called? Her that played Ahsoka. I forgot her name. Yeah, she was in it, and Tara Reid, and it was awful. It was awful.
Listen, if Tara Reid's in something, you know it's B movie. But let's be honest, she is well and truly solidified herself as the B movie queen. Like,
oh yes, here we go. So it'll interlinked the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Jughead, the Hunger, so he's the werewolf version, Vampironica, so Veronica is the vampire. Yeah. So there's going to interlock those, the Blossom 666, which is the band, as well as Josie and the Pussycats, and the main title character of Archie. So they're all in it together.
Okay. I have faith. If it's the team behind Stranger Things,
If they
I
do
have
it the way they've done Stranger Things, it should be good because they've not rushed Stranger Things, have they? They could have. I thought Stranger Things was going to get bad in the final season because I thought they were going to capitalize on Series 4's popularity and rush
Yeah.
out the ending, but they've not. They've made us wait for ages.
Dragged it out. When does it actually launch? It's this year, isn't it?
It's next year, isn't it? Is it not another year away yet?
Oh, is it? Is it
I
2025?
think it's 2025. Stranger
Jeez.
Things Series 5. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, the season expected to release early 2025.
Oh man.
Linda Hamilton joined the team, and they're currently shooting.
Linda Hamilton is in Terminator.
Linda Hamilton is in Terminator. Linda Hamilton joined the cast. Yeah, she's now listed. Doesn't say what role. It just says she's in it.
What could she possibly play?
I'm reckoning some form of agent. She looks like now she's a bit older. You can imagine her in a black suit, being like like when them people came to first get 11 when she ran away and they were all suited and booted. I can imagine her playing a character like that with shades on and stuff. It should be like a badass version of one of them.
No, fair enough.
I doubt they would, because I would doubt they would want to go for like the Survivor style, because that's what she plays in Terminator. It would be too easy to kind of make her play the Sarah Connor of the Stranger Things universe. It'd be too cheesy.
She might be some. I don't know.
And someone online said they wonder if she could be the older version of 11 from like a future like a future snapshot.
Oh, Stranger Things aren't going to mess around with time travel, are they?
Yeah, no, I don't mean time travel, but like Vecna shows like her future or something, and it shows Linda Hamilton as the older version of 11, like grown up. That would be cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens. Obviously, Vecna in this series is going full Dungeons and Dragons Vecna. He's going to be the all-powerful Vecna from the D&D game. So
that's exciting.
And I still think that Eddie's going to return as the Vampire King. I still think it's going to happen. He got taken down by a bunch of demon bats. You're telling me that they're not going to like play some overplayed rock music and have him rise from the dead as a vampire?
It would definitely be a way of capitalizing on the popularity of the character.
It makes sense in D&D. It's the lore of it's the D&D lore basically. That is the character of the Vampire King, more or less. So, and everyone loves him, and the fact that if he came back as like a badass version of himself, like with powers and shit to take down Vecna.
As a villain, as a bad guy.
No, as a good guy. I think he would come back as something that helps them fight Vecna. Bear in mind, in his like D&D campaign, Vecna was his big bad guy and stuff. You know what I mean? And I think when they kill Vecna, it will be Princess Corncob and Dusty that kills him, because they took the final role. Well, Dusty's gonna because they took the final roles in that campaign. You know, in the Fraser campaign.
Yeah.
All the other characters more or less got taken down, didn't they? And it came down to her role, if you remember. She rolled the dice and she killed him. There's got to be something that comes back to that.
So that's some kind of foreshadowing that they've already given us. Even if it was
like a ghost version of Eddie that looks at her and smiles and like got a D&D dice in his hand or something, and she basically does something that takes down Vecna because she did it in the game. It would be an unlikely character to kill him. A bit like Game of Thrones when they made Arya kill the White Walker. You know what I mean? It's something you're not expecting.
Yeah.
Her character, you wouldn't expect her to be the big hero at the end.
No. Let me I just got to shut my door. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I just got to shut this door. Talk to me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
You're good.
Talk to me. Oh, right. Dear. You've still not opened them Street Fighter figures.
No, they're still open. They're still boxed.
Have you got Sagat yet?
No.
Not Sagat. Bison, sorry.
Bison? No, I haven't.
Every time I see him in Smith's, I can't help myself.
Have you picked him up already then?
No, as in every time I see him in Smith, I just can't help but pick him up and do the whole You know, the day Bison came to your village was the most important day of your life, but to me, it was Tuesday.
The thing that annoys me about it is that the online retailers were supposed to like have kind of had them on pre-order and stuff like that, and Smith's got them up well early, but the online retailers still haven't had them in hand. So, like I've said previously, there's loads of people that have got like Bethany Beth, new week, still unopened.
Sorry, I had to point out. I just saw him there in your lovely mood.
Okay, I'm going to open one now, just to show everyone up.
Save it for your videos. I'm just teasing.
No, I'm going to open one now.
Because I know you had a really cool idea, didn't you, for the video?
I have, but I can still do my cool idea, just to stop the haters, because everyone keeps asking about them. But no, but it does frustrate me a little bit that the online retailers have obviously had them up on pre-order, and Smiths have had them in store, and so people have managed to kind of get hold of them. Oh no, look, I can't even pull him out of the packet.
No, you can't. You're gonna have to ruin the packaging to get him out.
No, I'm not doing that.
There's no nice way of doing it.
Sorry. I was gonna. Oh no, I could go in the bottom.
It's exactly the same. You'd end up destroying half the box trying to do it.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh no, look.
They really weren't designed to open at all, really.
No, they're not. They're not designed to be opened at all, are they?
Nope. You'd have to destroy the box to get to it.
There you go. Sorry, I was gonna open one, but back on the shelf.
I'm looking forward to when they release Zangief, to be honest, because then I really want Zangief because of it. Wreck-It Ralph made that for me.
Oh
I want Zangief, and I want to put him out. I've got some chairs from the WWE characters, so I want to put him on one of the chairs and just have him in that pose.
Have you got the toy box Wreck-It Ralph?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. All my kids have, so I was like, yep, as soon as that comes out. But no, it just frustrates me because obviously Bison and Dalsim are out. Like, they're out. Like, you can get them on Amazon, you can get them at Smith's, but yet the online retailers, and the reason it frustrates me is because I'm a big supporter of supporting the online retailers, only because you go back to the pandemic days where we had so many people getting into the hobby. It really was the online retailers that kept the hobby kind of afloat during that time. And for obviously people like ourselves that have been collecting since before then, stuck with the online retailers, and it kept small businesses or medium-sized businesses in business, got a load of new people into the hobby. But now, because we've got so many different outlets, people are obviously looking elsewhere, and you get new people coming into the hobby that kind of look at places like Amazon and eBay first before discovering these online retailers.
Yeah.
But yet you have things like this where a particular figure line is really popular with new people and new fans and stuff, and they're in the brick and mortar stores and on Amazon and stuff before they're in the hiccups now on the it's not going well tonight. Sorry, I can yawn in. I've got hiccups. But yeah, so they're there before they're in the online
Follow the online retailers.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Because it just doesn't help support them.
I'm wondering whether Smiths have an agreement with Jada Toys at this point.
It has to be,
because they're stocking like they stock a lot of their die-cast products, and they've been stocking them for years. So as soon as they've announced Street Fighter, I'm pretty sure they've just gone to them and said, we want them, the exclusivity on the line.
They're literally the only place as well that you see those die-cast figures. It's the only online
store that you can get them.
And obviously the brick and mortar place, like you say, it's the only place you can get the Street Fighter ones. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Yeah. But I will get them at some point. I'll get it. If I see them in Smith's, I will pick them up. Put it that way. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I'm just looking at the moment Zangief comes out, I'll be all over that. I love Zangief.
But I think, again, just kind of bringing it back to my original point is that, my opinion is somebody that's collected for a long time, and that I have we all do, don't we? We have a set kind of 2 to 3 online retailers that are our go-to people and stuff like that. But if I was a new collector for these ones in particular, I wouldn't even look twice at an online retailer now. I would go, well, actually, I need to wait because I can get it off Amazon or I can get it in Smith's, and that's where I'll pick it up. So it is a shame. Hopefully they get them soon.
it doesn't help either. I know it's because of costs importing and stuff, because of wherever they get it from. But it doesn't help either when a lot of these online retailers vary so much in price.
See, that's something I've never really understood. I always
So,
thought
like,
it was
I'm
like
not
the
being
competitive edge.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they watch it. I'm sorry to dox them a little bit, but like CNC, comics cocktails, the price of delivery is worked into the price on listed, but it doesn't discount when you buy multiple figures. So they're basically charging you twice for shipping, in my opinion.
Okay, it's an interesting way of looking at it.
Well,
See,
because-
I've always just looked at them that they have free shipping.
It's not though, is it? Because it's the figure will be on everywhere else for like $23.99, but yet they'll have it for $26.99 or $25.99.
Yeah.
And then if you buy multiple figures, it's not.
But
Really
then it is swings and roundabouts with them because obviously the Street Fighter figures, for example, are $24.99 at on Comics and Cocktails,
yeah.
but then it'll be free shipping. And then if you go into Smiths, it'll also be $24.99. So for things like that, it's kind of like where you're getting free shipping.
Smiths also do free shipping. You can buy them online. Just FYI.
No, but what I'm saying is that it's the same. they're matching what that is then.
Yeah.
But you do get a variation in price when it comes to online retailers, and they all do something slightly different. Like In Demand do the In Demand points, like the point scheme. I believe they still do that.
Yeah.
You get other retailers that do them a little bit less because the shipping is calculated at the checkout, and like you say, you're then if you buy multiple items, then you get it. But then one thing that is good about CNC because of the way that they do it is that if you put in a bulk order, they ship things out as they come.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they do. There is that.
you're kind of not paying for shipping twice if things are coming out. If you're buying a whole bunch of in-stock figures, then yeah, I get that point. But if you're putting in a bunch of pre-orders, they're going to get sent to you as soon as they come in.
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah. Either way, I do see your point.
I've gone to the thing now of whoever gets it first gets my money now.
Yeah.
It's the way it has to be.
Yeah.
There are some of the online ones. It's great that the online ones still exist, but there's so many to choose from now. Which one do you support? There's that many.
Yeah. Speaking of who gets things first, this coming week I've got the Luke Cage Iron Fist 2 pack coming.
Nice.
Yeah. Which I'm quite excited about. I really don't pick up that many Marvel Legends now that often. I just get the odd cent or 1 cent here and there, and I really enjoy that. Like the last one I got was Cable. Here he is.
Yeah.
But notice he's with my Street Fighters as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've not put with my X-Men yet because I'm like, am I building a Capcom versus Marvel setup?
Well, yeah, because Jada Toys also do Mega Man, so you can get a Mega Man. Yeah, there's a bunch of them that you can get Capcom wise.
Yeah. Speaking of that, though, have you seen the game that's coming out with all of the?
All of them in. There's a lot of these retro series games now, which is quite cool because you can get the Jurassic Park one as well. So it's all the original Jurassic Park games all on one disc.
What?
Yeah, have you not seen that in Smiths?
No.
Oh, let me have a look at the list and see which games are included in this. But yeah, it's the Classic Games Collection.
Mate, I'm on it now. I'm having a look now.
Yeah, the Classic Games Collection. It's in Smiths right now. You can go buy it. I think it's like $24.99 or something.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
It includes Jurassic Park, the 8-bit NES version, Jurassic Park Game Boy, Jurassic Park 16-bit SNES, Jurassic Park 16-bit Genesis, Jurassic Park 2, The Chaos Continues, Jurassic Park 2, 8-bit Game Boy, Jurassic Park Rampage Edition for the Genesis. So it's all the original top-down ones. Yeah, it's all the original ones.
Rampage Edition?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's PS5.
You can get it for Switch, you can get it for Xbox. It's available for all consoles.
You can't get it for PS4, though.
Can you not?
No, it's PS5.
Hang on, let me look.
Which makes no sense.
It's because they want you to upgrade, basically, isn't it?
But it makes no sense. It's a retro game.
Oh, yeah, it's PS5 for you. Sorry, I can get it on Xbox.
It makes no... Right, see, this is where PlayStation are letting themselves down.
Yeah.
Because these are retro games. So you do not need... Like the Marvel vs. Capcom one hats off to them massively, because it is being released on the PS4,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. Like, Jurassic Park Rampage Edition was like one of
That
my
was,
favorite games.
Great game. The Street Fighter one though is looking good as well. The Street Fighter versus Capcom. Look forward to that.
Yeah. That's I'm very excited about. That really is. But like I said, I mean, one of the main reasons why I think that's cool is because they're releasing it on the PS4 and Xbox, and I think that's brilliant, because you've got people that haven't updated that are able to still buy it.
Yeah. See, it's moments like this when I'm really glad I have a Switch.
Well, I do have a Switch in the house, so I might have to go and get the classic collection on the Switch.
So yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna get it and put it away for my 8-hour flight to Orlando. That's my plan. Then I can just sit and retro game for 9 hours on plane.
I have. Oh, I'm just having a quick look.
Look, you're buying it right now.
They've got it on the Switch in my local store as well.
There you go.
Oh, mate.
We were on about the other day.
Did you hear that?
What?
I'm watching. Did you hear that?
No.
Can you not hear this? Can you not hear that?
No. Can't hear anything.
Oh. Oh, it's oh, look at it! It's the T-Rex. It's the big T-Rex. I'm watching the video. It's the big T-Rex head.
Yeah, I'm loving these collections of all the retro games coming back out. It's kind of cool.
They're brilliant. They really are.
Like there's the one from Disney that's now got Aladdin, Lion King, and Jungle Book SNES games all on one disc as well. There's that one.
The old Aladdin game?
Yes, the old Aladdin game for the old SNES and Genesis versions.
Yeah.
They're on there. You can get the Lion King where you play as Simba. They're all like old SNES games, aren't they? And then you can get the Jungle Book one as well where you play as Mowgli.
Oh, mate.
And they're all like 20 quid a disc, which is quite cool because they're all old games, obviously. But I love getting them just for nostalgia.
This is insane. I'm trying to see, what one's that called?
The Disney collection or something. Disney a retro collection maybe or something like that. Let me have a look. I had it up a second ago. The Disney Classic Games collection.
Oh.
So the Disney Classic Games collection, you can get it for Switch. You can get the definitive edition, which will give you Aladdin, SNES, Game Boy Color, Sega Mega Drive, Genesis, Disney's Aladdin Final Cut, Disney's Aladdin Sega Mega Drive, Disney's Aladdin the Japanese version, the Lion King for SNES, Game Boy Color, Sega Mega Drive, and Genesis. Again, the Japanese version of it, and then the Jungle Book, SNES, Game Boy, and Sega Mega Drive.
Is that at Smith's as well?
Yep, that's at Smith's as well. 1999.
What's it called? Disney.
The Disney Classic Games collection for the Switch.
It's not coming up.
No, it's definitely available. Because it's that old game where you can play as Aladdin. You have to fight the big snake Jafar at the end.
Yeah, it's not coming up on one.
You played the mini game and you had to connect the Lotus thing or whatever it's called.
It's on Switch, yeah?
Yeah, it's available for Switch. You can get it on Amazon.
Yeah, see, it's not coming up on one.
Yeah, if you go onto Amazon, Disney Classic Games Collection, Nintendo Switch game.
But it's not on Switch. It's not at Smith's.
No, it's not on Smith's. I thought it was. I've seen it in my store though. I'm sure my store's got it.
Oh. I'm having a... Hang on, I need to have a look.
Because you can even get like there's the Sega Mega Drive Classic Collection, the 30-in-1 collections. I love all these kind of like retro collections.
Yeah.
And there's some right old games available for Switch.
Toy Scavenger said, "Don't start me on Jurassic Park." Evening, guys. Listen, don't start me on Jurassic Park. You got me back into Jurassic Park when you came on our show and with a load of figures. I just need to... That Rampage edition, I'm just going back to it now. It's hit the nostalgia. Like, I need to get it. I need to get it. It's one of them games where, because I was so into the film, and that game came out and it was like nothing like the film, but I was just addicted to it. And you get, because you can play it as Alan Grant or the Raptor. So you
Yeah.
play the game as the Raptor trying to escape the island, or I can't remember the exact, but yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
just a little platformer game, wasn't it? Like 2 levels.
yeah. It was like the boat level that just used to annoy me. You had to like go down the waterfalls.
Yeah, there's
Oh, I
the.
think I found it. Classic Games Collection.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, all right.
They're worth grabbing. Yeah, worth grabbing. It's very nostalgia. But like on Xbox, they've just recently released, because I played it on my channel the other day, that the Zombies Ate My Neighbors. If you remember that from back in the day.
Yeah.
From Lucas Arts made that one. And that's where he plays a little kid with a water pistol shooting zombies, and you have to save all the different, like there's like a cheerleader, a teacher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They've released that again. All these old games are coming back round now.
You know what?
All the SNES
Aladdin as a classic game was one of the. Oh wow.
You've got a Switch though. Do you not have the emulators on there? Have you not downloaded like Nintendo's own collection things?
No, it's my son's Switch. It's not mine.
Say if you pay for the online services, which I'm guessing you do for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you've got the online service, then you can download the Super Nintendo one and the N64 one. So you can play like really old SNES games. There's like a bunch of them that you can play, and there's like the N64 one's available now.
Oh right.
So you can play some really old retro games on there as well.
That Aladdin game.
Marios and stuff.
That Aladdin game for me was such a good. And it had didn't you have to like spell like abracadabra as a cheat, and then you could
basically skip any level or whatever.
ABBC, ABB, like it was one of them ones, wasn't it? But oh man, right, listen, we are getting close to the end of the show, so we need to talk about movies about toys, because that was the theme of the show. So obviously we're running to a slightly different schedule now, so normally we would finish up at about 11 o'clock, but we would have started earlier. So because we started a little bit later, we're going to run a little bit longer, so we'll go on to about 11:30ish. But let's talk movies about toys.
Yeah, so in this I kind of say anything that's got a toy part of it, can count.
Okay, so how are we doing this? Is this?
I don't know. Do you want to do it? Have you got a list made or anything like that? Because we didn't kind of discuss what we're going to do at all. We just kind of.
We didn't, did we?
No. Or shall I just throw some movies at you and we'll just talk about them?
Yeah, let's not do it as a list as such, because I've got a handful of I've got a handful. Yeah,
because I included things as well that are based on toys. So like I included the G.I. Joe movies as a part of this because they're technically based on toys.
Yeah, like Barbie, for example, is...
The Barbie movie was like the prime example, because that literally was meant to be the dolls, wasn't it, brought to life?
Yeah.
Which it clearly worked for them, because, they're now trying to make other movies like that now.
Yeah. All right, so let's start off. Small Soldiers obviously has to be on there, doesn't it?
Oh, God, yeah. Small Soldiers was like the cream of the creme, wasn't it? I think that takes the top spot, surely.
Whoa. Hang on 2 seconds. Beth with the breaking news. Disney Classic Games Definitive Edition. Sports Direct has it for £9.
Yeah, because that'll be game, won't it? It'll be part of game stock.
I am going to game tomorrow.
So
if it's there, Beth.
Game thing.
If it is there, Beth, I will pick it up. And we will talk about it next.
It's a bargain for £9.
Yeah, 100%. Right, so Small Soldiers. Obviously, Small Soldiers was released in 97, 98. It's definitely late 90s. And if I remember rightly, because it's been quite a while since I watched it, but didn't they put like military grade tech into the toys?
Basically, yeah. They basically gave the toys AI before AI was a thing.
Yeah.
There was some chips, some really good chips, some really, really, really good chips.
Yeah. what I really loved about Kirsten Dunst is in it as well, isn't she?
Yes.
Like Mary Jane before she was Mary Jane. What I thought was really good about this though is like the CGI is for its time really really good. Like when you think this is like late 90s, it was very realistic to watch.
Yeah.
And you kind of believe that toys were getting up and running around. But I think my favorite point, even at the time, my favorite kind of point of the plot was the fact that the toys were the commandos, the soldiers were the good guys, and the Gorgonites.
The Gorgonites, yeah.
How do I remember that? How does that just like? But the Gorgonites were the bad guys. But then obviously when they come to life, it was the other way around.
Because it was how they were imagined, wasn't it? So like the guy who created them didn't want them to be the villains. He wanted them to be teaching kids about the world and nature and the natural world around them. So that's kind of where Archer gets his soft demeanor from, and all the characters kind of based on fun little monsters. But obviously they wanted Chip Hazard to be the guy that comes in and vaporizes them, as they said.
You know what disappointed me about this though was the actual toy line.
With crap.
They were rubbish, weren't they? And to have a movie
toys
that is
of the time as well. You got to think of the toys of the time. They did match what was available. It wasn't like they were, you know what I mean? Like a lot of toys were 5POA back then. Let's be honest, where honest is. Like all the Batman figures didn't have bendable arms. They were all static.
Yeah.
So I mean, these were just like that basically.
But they just weren't. I don't know. I don't remember there being a huge amount of toys.
I've literally just sold all mine on recently on eBay. I've literally just shifted them all on. I had
have you really?
Ages. Yeah, I had the whole set. I had the whole set.
Yeah, there wasn't a huge amount though, was there? There was 10.
They didn't make half
8 or
of them.
10.
So you got Brick Bazooka, Nick Nitro, and Chip Hazard, but I don't remember them ever making the other one. There was the other guy that I can't remember his name. He had the cigar. And I don't think they ever created him. I don't think he ever got a figure. And
Oh really?
The other one as well. There was the other character as well. They didn't create him either. There was two on the other ones. But they created all of the Gorgonites because they were popular. They were the heroes of the film, and they were all.
What
weird
was the
looking
spinny one? What was the blue one? The spinny
Zaniac.
one. Yes, I remember having that one. I remember having a lot of them, but I remember that one specifically.
Yeah, because there was a variant of him that was blue, like a very light blue. It was called the Witch Doctor variant. That goes for a pretty penny.
Okay.
I never.
I should have kept them really.
Yeah.
I should have kept them.
It was the video game I liked, the old PlayStation 1 video game.
Oh yeah.
Because that was made from the perspective of imagine if that toy line was real, and this is what the game is representing of that. So it wasn't like you were running around the real world with Chip and Archer. You were playing as like the Commando Elite versus the Gorgonite Scum. It was like how the toy line imagined them. It was very cool. It's in world.
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. Go on then. You give us another one.
But for me, I like Lego Movie, and the fact that everything in Lego Movie had set numbers. You could download the files online to be able to create everything they made in that movie.
Yep. I was really surprised when I found out that it wasn't actually stop motion.
It was very realistic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was CGI made to look like stop motion. And I just thought, you know what, that's so well done.
Mm-hmm. And they used 100% Lego pieces in CGI. So like everything that was in the movie was tangible with Lego. That was the whole. Yeah. I believe that was Lego's stipulation about the movie. It had to be something that could be built with real Lego.
Yeah, and I think the thing about Lego is that, you know, you think of the Lego movie. There was obviously the Lego Batman movie before as well. That one made my list, but we'll just kind of group it in with Lego. But there's a lot of other Lego visual properties, isn't there? All like the TV series and stuff like that. So Lego stuff has been around for a long time. Yeah,
then there's the Jackie Chan one, the Wushu kind of Warriors one. But the Lego movie as a series, like the ones that went to cinema, was the the main three really was Lego Movie, Lego Movie 2, and Batman Lego. And
Yeah.
they did something which I think is really cool, where they created actual songs just for the films. And I bet you can remember all three of them. Bet you can remember all three of them in your head. As soon as I start singing them, I bet you
No,
know all
I'll
of
be
them.
able to get you. So,
So Lego Movie 1.
was Everything Is Awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah.
Then you had Batman Movie. Remember the song from that?
That's the Friends are Family.
Yeah. There was a couple of other songs of that actually, but yeah, that was the main one at the end. That was like the credit song. And then Lego Movie 2.
This song's gonna get stuck inside your head.
This song's gonna get stuck inside your head.
Here's a little bit of trivia for you. And I wonder if you're going to know this. Did you know that Friends of Family from the Lego Batman film?
Yeah.
Do you know who sings that?
The guy who plays Robin, isn't it?
It's no. So hang on 2 seconds. I'm going to get the name up. Oh man. Oh Hush. They're called the band that sing. So the guys are in it, yeah. But basically, the artist is Oh Hush. Do you know what else Oh Hush sing?
Nope.
So this is gonna blow your mind. And I only know this because I went recently. But when we went to Disneyland Paris, recently, you know they have like a main parade song every year. So there was their main parade one was called "Ready for the Ride."
Yeah.
Have you heard it?
Yeah.
"Ready for the Ride" by Oh Hush. And when you listen to "Ready for the Ride" and then you listen to "Friends or Family," they are so similar. When we were over there and like "Ready for the Ride" come on, that has become like a regular song in our household. Like it's so good. And I was like, I know this song. Like, why do I know this song? And then it hit me, and I was like, it's the Lego Batman film. And then I put that one on, and they even to the extent where it's like a similar like da 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 da, and then da 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 da. There's like a little kind of like speedy rap break kind of thing. Yeah, but there you go, a little bit Disney trivia. All right, next one for me, Jumanji.
Yeah, Jumanji has to be on there.
Yeah. Just because and I think it gets overlooked as a toy film, but essentially the whole thing is about toys. But I just think it's one of my favorite, and I say one of my favorite because I have about 15, but one of my favorite Robin Williams films. Like, I just think that his character in it, his character Alan in it, is just so great. And even though the CGI is a bit dated now,
I still think it looks decent though. It looks, you can tell it's old, but I
think
it holds up.
Oh, massively holds up. But it's definitely aged in comparison to what we have nowadays. It's still just as kind of terrifying.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I just thought it was fantastic. And go on.
Sorry, I was saying, and again, it's another Kirsten Dunst movie.
Yes, yeah. What is about Kirsten Dunst being in toy films? I only recently learned as well that the guy that plays the hunter is the guy that plays his dad.
Oh yeah. So that's that's kind of like an Easter egg. So the idea being on stage performances of like Peter Pan, the person that plays Hook is always the person that plays Wendy's father.
Yeah,
it's homage to that kind of old style theatre thing. Yeah. So the villain of the movie is also the father of the movie because he sees his dad as a villain in the beginning, and then by the end he loves him. So like there's that whole. It's like he sees his dad as the villain, so the villain is his father.
And as a kid, it went over my head, but then as an adult, I was like, "Oh, that's so good!" Like, you know.
When you look back now, you do think to yourself that voice should have given it away because obviously the very beginning is like, "Hello, Alan," and then it cuts to the hunter like, "Hello, Alan." It's like, oh, it's the same guy, just with a mustache.
Yeah, massively.
But do you remember
there you go.
Do you remember the TV series they made about Jumanji? On
the
CITV?
cartoon.
The cartoon.
Yeah.
Where it was like based in Jumanji, like it was.
Yeah.
I love that thing so much.
I think it's one of the main reasons why I like the more recent versions as well. Like, I don't dislike them because they've kind of taken it and they turned it into a computer game and kind of modernized it a little bit, but it's all based in Jumanji. And I think that gave, especially fans of the original film and like us older people, it gave us an opportunity to see in the game. And that to me was a real winner. But yeah, when I say Jumanji, I kind of mean the whole franchise. Like the newer ones aren't as good, but they're still quite cool.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing that I would say is I think it's a real shame that Robin's no longer with us, because it would have been so cool to see Robin Williams team up with The Rock to do like a crossover one.
Yeah.
I think I'd still be happy even if Kirsten Dunst just shows up for one of the films. I think that'd be cool.
I'm surprised.
But yeah, without I think it's probably because of Robin. It's probably without him, it wouldn't be their version of Jumanji, would it? He made it.
Yeah. I agree.
But it would have been cool to see him get sucked into the video game version and be teamed up with The Rock and stuff. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. Go on then. You give us one.
Let me go back to my list here. Another one for me, Indian in the Cupboard.
Oh, good shout.
Yeah, do you remember that film?
Yeah, I do.
So,
it was a toy Indian, wasn't it? And then he put it in the little cupboard and it comes to life.
Yeah, he turned the key and it basically brought anything he put in the cupboard to life. But people forget this film also starred a lot of actors in it. So we had like Steve Coogan and people like that in it. There were some great actors in this. And also you get that really cool scene where he puts Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, he puts all his toys in it and they all come to life, doesn't it? There's a whole scene where Darth Vader's like fighting Luke and stuff.
How did they get around that? Was that must have been...
They must have had an agreement somewhere. Frank Oz directed the movie, so I mean he's got links to Lucasfilm. He's the Yoda. So I mean he's friends of Lucasfilm.
I mean that again, that was what?
So this
mid-90s?
came out 1995.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What I liked about that as well is it's kind of that age-old kind of narrative where, because he puts a cowboy toy in as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, the cowboy toy tries to shoot
and then
the
they become
little Indians and become friends, don't they?
Yeah, and it's that kind of age-old kind of, the instinct of we have to fight is the original thing, but then by the end of it they've got this kind of this unwritten...
Well, because they fight, don't they? He goes to shoot him and he dodges the bullet and then he uses his bow and arrow and hits him with it. And then he heals him, doesn't he, afterwards? He like heals him, basically. Like he uses like the Native American like medicines and stuff to heal him up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's...
Because he makes him like a little... He puts like hay down, doesn't he? And makes him like a little bed and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I love that movie so much. It's one of them films that's not... I don't think it's ever been re-released on like Blu-ray or DVD or anything. It's like a very old VHS film that's never been re-released.
I can't remember the last time I saw it.
Probably as a kid. I don't think there's a film that's ever had like a home cinema release for Blu-rays or anything. Sadly.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's a good one. I haven't seen it for so long. I couldn't. All I remember is that the cowboy and Indian figures become friends.
Yeah.
That's all I remember, and the cupboard that brings them to life. I completely forgotten about the Star Wars scene.
Yeah. It's one of my favourite bits, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good. That is a good shout. Okay, for me, we've talked about it previously. Masters of the Universe, 1987.
Oh yeah, 1987
has to be on there, but because it's one of them really sideways ones. Because obviously, the He-Man toys were phenomenal. They were like, game changing. The cartoon was a regular in most households. But then the film kind of went, right, well, these toys are really good and this film and this TV show is really good. So let's make a film that's completely different with the same title and a couple of the same characters. But yeah.
For me, that film's like up there with like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. It's that era of like, it's them like crappy remakes. Like, they're just trying to cash in on popularity of things. Like the Super Mario Brothers movie, the original one. They tried to cash in on things and tried to Hollywoodize them, if you will, and it just doesn't work. They've realised now that doesn't work for those kind of references.
And Dolph Lundgren as He-Man, visually he could have been perfect. If they gave him a bowl cut and the actual costume, he would have been perfect. And it was his first or one of his first acting roles, and Courtney Cox is in it as well.
Oh God,
But
yeah. She's young in that though.
because she's the girl, she's only supposed to be like 17 or something in it. Like, but yeah, but I don't know. I do like the way that the recent Masterverse have kind of brought it into
Yeah.
made it all kind of canon.
I just hope because I know Mattel have kind of obviously the Barbie movie was a massive success.
Yeah,
And they have kind of announced that they're going to do a similar thing with other properties. I hope they don't try and use that same idea for Masters. I hope they do actually try and give us a good sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the cheesiness of it would lend itself to that kind of a movie where they're doing it as their toys come to life
yeah.
and they've come to the real world or whatever. That would work, but that's not what fans want. Fans want a proper fantasy sci-fi movie with a heavy metal soundtrack attached to it.
But literally, and it would be perfectly timed, right? You keep the costumes the same as the toys. Like the costumes, the look of the characters are the same as the toys. The style of it is a barbarian space film. You give it a really, really awesome 80s soundtrack. Get James Gunn to ask you for a ask James Gunn for a playlist. Give it a really good 80s soundtrack and just give us the Masters of the Universe that we've deserved.
Chris Hemsworth as Prince Adam. I'm sorry, that would work for me.
Yeah.
And I've always said I think there should be a very cheesy beginning part where Arnie has a cameo as the father of He-Man. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would work. No, see, but
And
nowadays
have him more or less be like the Conan Barbarian character.
no, see, I would have Dolph. Nowadays, I'd
Oh,
have
Dolph, yes.
actually pull Dolph in as He-Man's dad, like just for that kind of like that kind of thing. Cool. Go on, Em.
That's even better. Okay. Yeah, I can't believe we haven't mentioned this one. The best film for toys of all time, Jingle All the Way.
Yes.
Turbo Man.
Yeah.
Indiana
Jones. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well, it wasn't, and then it was, wasn't it?
Then
A couple of years ago.
They made it.
They actually
made
it.
Funko.
But yeah, I mean, it wasn't about toys, but the film's centered around toys.
Finding a toy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So it's a Christmas film, obviously. It's one of my favorite Christmas films, to be fair. What cracks me up though, and it still makes me laugh now, we watched it at Christmas just gone, is the way his wife doesn't recognize it's him, and he's got this thick kind of like Austrian accent. And it's like everyone knows that that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. How do you he's supposed to be your husband and you don't recognize him?
I like the people in the parade that do the fly to man, use your jetpack, like as if it's real. You know what I mean? Like it's just so funny. I love that bit.
Yeah. I like the guy that plays the other dad as well, and he obviously becomes the villain, doesn't he? And it's Sinbad, wasn't it?
Sinbad.
Yeah. But yeah, it just that's such a classic film. I kind of wish that when they released the toy, it wasn't a replica of the toy from the thing, and they actually gave us a proper articulated Turbo Man figure.
6-inch jobber.
I'm surprised with the popularity of Jingle All the Way, they didn't capitalize on the Turbo Man story.
Do you know what? I think that's a good thing. I think that's what makes it a classic. If they started giving us a lot more merchandising and giving us other spin-offs, I think it would take away from the original. The fact that it's been left alone, it's a classic Arnie movie, it's a classic Christmas movie.
But you say that, look at Buzz Lightyear and Toy Story.
Yeah,
the way they made a Toy Story, a Buzz Lightyear movie based on what was the action figure. So like to give us that kind of canon backstory in the form of a Turbo Man film or a Turbo Man TV show, it wouldn't necessarily take away from Jingle All the Way, because it could be a case of this is who Turbo Man is, this is why the toy is so popular. Yeah, I
don't know. The Buzz Lightyear movie, the movie Lightyear, the less we speak about that, the better.
Yeah. Let's
No,
not
it's not
go too
good.
deep.
It's not good.
No. All right. I will use this one because I've got a feeling that the other one on my list you're gonna bring in next.
Okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1990s
Yeah.
films.
Teenage
Obviously they're based on
Mutant
action figures. We had action figures as a kid and a TV show. A prime example of how much He-Man failed,
Mm.
because the Turtles at a very similar time did a very similar thing.
Mm.
They took the Turtles, but they kept them looking okay. Yes, they made them more realistic, but they still kept the essence of what they were there. And they gave us gave us a
Henson.
movie that was similar to the TV show.
Yeah, the power of
So what?
Henson. That was.
Yeah, and
Plus
there's
it was
that
Henson
one
Puppet Studios,
hideous. There's that one hideous frame as well where you can see the puppeteer inside the suit
wasn't it? Yeah.
through the mouth, which is just hideous. Did you see as well? There was pictures recently of like one of the costumes that had been in storage or something, and all the rubber is kind of rotted away, and it's this like
Away.
scut. Yeah, but no, the Turtles films for me were great.
Awesome. Yeah.
Go on in your next one.
Transformers. I think it's hard to not speak about Transformers. I know we're not massive fans of the toys, but it's hard to, the toys have had a new lease of life, I think, with younger generations ever since those movies came out, the Michael Bay ones.
Yeah. No, I didn't even hate the Michael Bay ones.
No, I don't. I think they're enjoyable films to watch. The last one was a bit cringeworthy, but
yeah,
it's robots doing smashy stuff. What's
yeah.
that like?
I've never really hated them. I mean, they're not
the rebranding with kind of Bumblebee only talking with his radio. I mean, that has become canon now, hasn't it? I mean, in the original cartoons, I don't remember Bumblebee ever talking like that. He had a regular voice, as far as I remember.
No. And of course, if we're talking Transformers, you can go back to the original Transformers movie as well, like 1986 one, that which was way before the Michael Bay stuff, and was just basically like a feature-length cartoon of Transformers. Yeah, so
I'm gonna blow your mind now.
Go on in.
I was not a fan of Transformers growing up. It was not my thing. I couldn't do them. I couldn't transform them. I wasn't a massive fan of die-cast cars or anything as a kid. That wasn't my bag. So I actually never saw the animated movie until I was an adult.
Oh, really?
I didn't watch the TV series either. It wasn't because it was Transformers. It was always like, Transformers, turn it off.
Transformers kind of went hand in hand for me with like He-Man, Thundercats, Ninja Turtles, like all of those kind of action, Brave Star, all those things. But it was my least favorite of them all because of the robot element. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but when it came to cars and stuff, like I was a much bigger fan of like Mask, like the toy line Mask. So I enjoyed the Transformers movies and stuff, but I wouldn't kind of run out to buy a toy, because if I got an opportunity, I was like, well, actually, I'd have a Turtles toy first, or a Mask toy or whatever. But I did have some Transformers growing up, and I know what you mean. Like they always seem to be left half transformed because I couldn't figure out how to get an arm in a certain place, or whatever. So it's like, oh, here's like half a car with a leg sticking out, and yeah.
For me, I grew up as well. I was very lucky, unlike Rishi Sunak. I was very lucky to grow up with Sky. So
Wow.
I had the original Sky, and I had Fox Kids. So I mean, I was a kid that grew up on Fox Kids, and so I watched things like I had X-Men, Spider-Man, Beetleborgs, Power Rangers. That's where I were.
Yeah.
So and they used to show they would show like the Ace Ventura TV series, Dumb and Dumber TV series, Addams Family the TV series. So I was a Beetlejuice as well. That's why I was all over that stuff.
Yeah. No, likewise. Right, let's do one more each, because obviously we're running out of time, and then we'll just give a few honourable mentions quickly, and then we'll do one more each.
Shall we do some honourable mentions?
Yeah.
Okay, so other than that, we have obviously had the Playmobil movie that tried to cash in on the popularity of Lego. I don't think it was as successful.
No.
We've had G.I. Joe movies, obviously Snake Eyes and various versions of G.I. Joe.
Which are hit and miss. I quite enjoy them for what they are, but
a couple of years ago, DreamWorks revamped the Trolls TV movie line, and they kind of revitalized the toy line for what we had as a kid. That's kind of given it at least a new life for a new generation, which is kind of cool. It's cool to see it back. But I mean, stuff about toys. I mean, it's hard to not talk about films like Chucky. Technically, the whole film is based around a doll.
Yeah. So that's
but for me, I was going to say, but for me, I think the ultimate toy movie has got to be Toy Story.
Yeah, that was top of my list.
And I don't think there's any of the Toy Story movies that I don't enjoy. I've enjoyed every single one of them, including the shorts, on some level.
Yeah. There's something very wholesome about toys coming to life. Was always a horror theme. It was always something to be scared of. And I don't know whether that's just being kind of a kid of the 80s and 90s, where you had like the dolls that come to life, or you had the kind of the toys that moved, or the toys that were haunted, and all that kind of stuff. And there was all
Chucky and
and it was all very much that toys were something to be scared of because they would come to life and do scary things. And Toy Story was the first time as a kid, as a young adult, where it was like, here's the toys coming to life, but it's not something to be scared of. And it was kind of like, oh, this is like an interesting concept. And all of a sudden, like pre-Toy Story, you would never have kids going, oh, I'd love my toys to come to life at night time and run amok. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get the odd crazy kid maybe want it, but after Toy Story, it was something that everybody wanted. It was like, oh yeah, I want them to do this, I want them to do that. And I think it opened up so much, even simple things like Elf on the Shelf, for example. I think that, you know, things like that came from the idea of Toy Story, in my opinion. The idea of something inanimate. Can't even use my words. But something like that then does something when you're not looking, when you're not paying attention. And yeah, that's always been something to be scared of, or something that's been used as a horror theme, and Toy Story flipped it on its head. And it's just beautiful.
One thing that I loved is that John Lasseter took the idea of a guy that worked for Pixar called Sid. He was actually called Sid. And he would buy toys and do what we do now, which is kit bash. John Lasseter saw that as sacrilege. He was pulling toys apart. What is he doing? And that's where the whole character of Sid comes from. It's this guy in the office who would buy figures and make his own toys out of them, like you're kit bashing, which is quite common now. But like in the 90s, that wasn't a big thing. But and they were saying that basically the whole Sid Phillips idea was based on an employee at Pixar, which I think is quite cool.
It really was the big film that kind of that springboarded Pixar into
it's the
what
film
it is.
that made them.
Yeah.
So much so that Disney, because originally it was only a partnership with Pixar and Disney. It was Walt Disney Presents Pixar's Toy Story, and then eventually Pixar was bought out by Toy Story. By Disney, and it became Disney's Toy Story with Pixar kind of in the background. But one thing as well about Toy Story that I always loved, the film felt nostalgic even as a kid because those toys that are in that film are based on play school toys.
Yes.
So some of those toys would have been toys that you may have had as a very young child. So the idea being you were about 8-9 years old when that film came out, maybe a little bit younger. But the idea being that you would have actually played with Slinky Dog and the phone and all those toys that feel like the Speak and Spell, and they were all actual tangible toys like the Small Soldiers, and they were all things you would have probably Etch-a-Sketch, all things that you would have probably had, or
Mr. Potato Head.
Yep.
Mr. Potato Head, the original like Hasbro toy, like I completely agree, and I remember as well watching that original. That was another good Mega Drive game as well, the Toy Story game. But yeah, watching the original and kind of looking for those Easter eggs of what the games were and what the things were in the background and all that kind of stuff. And it's silly little characters like Squeaky Shark that was like a genuine kind of retro toy that I had as a kid that was my bath shark. So then to see him as a film character, I was really like, oh look, I had that, like you say, it's that retro thing. But yeah, do you think we've seen the end of the franchise, or do you think there's going to be more?
Disney's going to mill that bad boy for all it's worth. No, there's Toy Story
Yeah.
5 already in the works, isn't there?
I think they need to really pull away from Buzz and Woody.
Oh no, John Lasseter, I believe, is back on board now. He's now been exonerated and he's back with the company. And the Toy Story 5, from what I understand, is based on a script for a Toy Story movie that was pitched back in before Toy Story 2 came out.
Oh right, okay.
So I think they're going back in time. It's not Bonnie this time. It's back to being Andy. So we're going back in time.
Okay.
There was, I think I've told you before, there was a story that were floating around back in the day about Buzz being recalled, and Andy's mum sending Buzz off to be thinking, and Woody and the gang go to save Buzz. But the movie was rejected because it was too close to the idea of Toy Story 2. They didn't want to make the idea of Buzz saving Woody then Woody saving Buzz. Because that's basically what the first film is, isn't it? Is Woody saving Buzz. So they didn't want to create it because it was too similar to the previous two movies, but now they're looking for a Toy Story 5 script. They've already got one there that's half cooked.
It'll be interesting if they do go down that road, because if they do, it essentially changes the direction of all the other films. So if, for example, Buzz Lightyear was recalled and they save him and then that particular one doesn't go back to be recalled, then the Buzz that we see in all of the other films after that is essentially one that should have been recalled that isn't. And every other one that we see, like in the toy stores and stuff, are the newer products. Yeah. Oh, interesting. But yeah, there we go.
One last thing, two last bits of random knowledge about Toy Story for you. The toolbox that Sid has is the same brand of toolbox that Tim Allen used on Home Improvement.
Nice.
I love that little tidbit. And when you look at, Andy when he's got all his friends around for his birthday.
Yeah.
Do you know they're all just Andys with different t-shirts colours? They're all the same child. If you go back and look at it, because CGI was so expensive, they couldn't change the look of each character. The model was literally Andy with different hair colours and different t-shirt colours, but they were all identical.
I'll have a look.
See if I can find the screenshot that shows it.
I'm literally looking now.
Andy Party, same model.
Oh my goodness.
There you go. Every child that comes to his birthday party is based on the characters that are already in the film, basically. They're all just reskinned Andys.
Wow.
Because obviously back then the CGI was so the movie was millions in the making, wasn't it? It was so slow to make, and so they wouldn't waste time on making these other little kids for a 10-second little cameo. So they just basically got Andy to shove different hats on them and
change the hair different.
Yeah.
Wow.
Slight changes. That's because it was so hard to do back then.
I think my favourite bit of Toy Story trivia is that in all the toys, in the merchandise, Tim Allen obviously voices Buzz, but for all of the Woody merchandise and games, it's Tom Hanks' brother.
Yeah, Jim Hanks.
I just think that's brilliant. I'm like, you imagine like Tim Allen turning up to work. He's like, right, okay, we've got a week in the studio. We're doing the computer game, the toys, the merchandise. This is brilliant. And then some other dude that looks a little bit like Tom Hanks turns up and goes, oh yeah, he's sent me instead. But Tom Hanks said in an interview, I think it was with Graham Norton or something, that his brother essentially had a full-time job based off of that gig, like to just sound like his brother. Like,
so his brother was in the Kingdom Hearts games. His brother does all the things for the parks. Like whenever the parks need a Woody soundtrack, it's Jim that does the voiceover.
Yeah, that's mental, isn't it?
It's crazy, isn't it?
There we go. So we are a little bit later tonight. We do appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's Saturday instead of a Sunday. We will be back to our regular slot next week, but we just want to enjoy tomorrow along with everyone else. Just, we'll either be celebrating or commiserating, won't we? So
busy day tomorrow. It's the Licorice Festival for me tomorrow as well. It's Pontefract Licorice Festival.
Oh, happy days. Happy days.
Yeah, Pontefract was known for the licorice cakes and things like that back in the day. It's one of our major exports. So they've got the licorice festival in the morning, then I'm going for lunch in the afternoon, a barbecue with my parents for the football game. Well, excited.
Nice.
It's meant to rain all day though, so well, good luck with that.
Licorice is like my favourite, so when I come up, I'm going to have to grab some.
We've got Haribo and Bassett's basically. Both factories are in my hometown. So every time where I live is down the road from Haribo, so I can smell basically Haribo being cooked. I can smell it all the time. I can walk outside my house and it smells like popcorn or toffee or.
That's incredible.
It's sickly. You get used to it, but it's sickly.
Tomorrow for me, my wife is taking my daughter and some of her friends to see Mean Girls the musical, which is going to be very cool. And I'm taking the other 3 kids to see Despicable Me 4.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
No, but it looks awesome. I love the bit on the trailer where it is the fire in the hole and puts the soda cannon in. Boom.
I'm very much looking forward to it. So there we go. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. It's been much appreciated. We'll be back next week on Sunday, normal time. Haven't decided what our theme is going to be yet, but we've got 5 or 6 in the pipelines. We'll throw one out very soon. Do check out both my channel and SuperSorrell's channel this week for our 4 Horsemen collab. That's going to be quite cool. We've got a couple of figures to look at, and we're going to be talking about them across the channels. But yeah, apart from that, I think that's about it. Anything else you want to add before we go?
No, keep it geek.
Brilliant. Thanks for watching, everyone. Keep it geek.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and of course subscribe. Tune in next week for another live show. Until then, keep it geek. www.geekweekinreview.co.uk